Hey YouTube, it's Dragonology99 from TeamProxie. I'm here with a deck profile, the very first one we're doing. It's this is my ViralKeepers deck, also known as Malefic Keepers. It's a totally different deck from the Gravekeeper's deck that topped YCS. That one abused Royal Tribute, which became a lot more consistent with Pot of Duality because you could get it first turn, and then if you get it first turn, you basically win. This one abuses the virus cards, which sort of do the same thing. You check your opponent's field and their hand and cards they draw for the next 3 turns, so they're a little better, and they're just kind of hard to use and hard to find, and it takes an entirely different deck to run them. So I'll just get started with the deck here. To start off, we've got 3 Gravekeeper's Visionary. This is a huge difference between mine and YCS. I'm running like 20 monsters, and they only ran 14. The virus cards require you to tribute, so I figured I needed more monsters. And this way, I'm not stuck without monsters, which essentially make the virus cards all dead. Visionary's 2,000, 1,800 beat stick. With Necrovalley on the field, he's 2,500, 2,300, which makes him a perfect target for Eradicator Epidemic virus. He gains 200 for each Gravekeeper in the graveyard, so it gets really big. And if he'd be destroyed, you can pitch a Gravekeeper from your hand to the graveyard, which is really cool with Gravekeeper's Recruiter, because with Recruiter, you always have Gravekeepers in your hand. So he's really good now. 2 Malefic Stardust Dragon. 2,500, 2,000. It's a dark type, so works with the viruses. Also, Eradicator Epidemic food. Basically, because this deck doesn't sync, he's a free special summon, because all you have to do is remove from play a Stardust in your extra deck. You have to have Necrovalley on the field, though. But when he's on the field, field spell cards can't be destroyed. So if your opponent Black Roses, you gotta keep your Necrovalley. And if he's on the field, only he can attack. But a really fun move to do with Malefic is you attack, right, destroy their monster, they think they're safe, and then you tribute it for Eradicator or deck Devastation, and then swing at the rest of your monsters. They never see that coming. So yeah, good card. 3 Gravekeeper Spy. The age-old engine. Not a deck Devastation target, but still a great card. 2,000 defense, 2,500 with Necrovalley. You can just wall up behind it. I mean, you just sit behind it, your opponent's got like a Caius or something, they're not going to run it over. It searches basically Recruiter usually, but it can go for any number of things, Descendant and stuff. Great card. 3 Descendant. Little absolute power force buddy. He destroys things and by tributing Gravekeepers, which is really cool with Recruiter because you get a search a Gravekeeper if you send Recruiter to the graveyard. Basically, he destroys back row and occasionally problem monsters. Because I'm running 3, I'm not running MST because he gives me a whole bunch of back row destruction in of himself. 3 Gravekeeper's Recruiter. It's Witch of the Black Forest for Gravekeepers, and I can summon it with Spy. It's pretty damn awesome. It's not a deck Devastation virus card. But it's Witch of the Black Forest, so, I mean, there's no need to complain. It's kind of awesome. 2 Gravekeeper's Commandant. I'm only running 2 because first turn Royal Tribute isn't a big thing for me. I mean, I've had it happen a few times, and it's pretty awesome, but I don't focus on it because it's not as consistent without Pot of Duality. I only need 2 because Recruiter fetches him. As opposed to the YCS build, I'm running 2 Commandants and 3 Necrovalleys, whereas they ran 2 Necrovalleys and 3 Commandants. But he's cool. He's Earth, so he's not a deck Devastation target, but whatever. 2 Assailant, also, these are deck Devastation targets. They're really cool, especially with Dandelion tokens. Basically just do 2,000 direct damage, and they're cool for basically like destroying every single Blackwing Dark Elm Dragon. Awesome card. 1 Chief. He's in here because he speeds up the deck. If you tribute Recruiter, you get a +1 off him. He provides you can revive deck Devastation targets. If he gets hit by Bottomless, you can deck Devastation him, and still get a monster on the field. So he speeds up the deck, and he can be searched with Recruiter, which is why he's being run in here. Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar, Morphing Jar. This card is absolutely amazing. Basically, because it says draw, every card your opponent draws, you get to see, and you get to discard any that get hit by the viruses. So he's amazing. I've gotten like a +10 off him before. You flip Morphing Jar, they draw 5, you send every single one to the graveyard, and you get to keep your 5. Beautiful in this deck. 3 Necrovalley. Big anti-meta card, beats sticky Gravekeepers, etc., etc., makes the viruses work. 3 Book of Moon. This is especially good in this deck because you can reuse Spy, among other things. Stops Synchros, stops Blackwing Swarms, although they're controlled now, so they don't really swarm, but whatever. 2 Stele, it's a +1, you get your Gravekeepers back. You can get Visionary from the grave and pitch it for trade-in, that's always a cool move. 2 trade-in. Speed up the deck. I don't have or can't afford Pot of Dualities, so these are cool. I've wanted to use these ever since I got one in the Rise of the Dragonlord structure deck. So I finally found a deck that I can use them in, and they work really well. I've got 5 targets, 3 Visionary, 2 Malefic. I like sending Visionary over Malefic because I can revive them with stuff. But this is really cool. It speeds up the deck, and it allows me to run 42 cards and still have it be consistent. Because I've got that, Morphing Jar, and Allure. So, 1 Royal Tribute. I had to run 1. It's just alright. I mean, it's pretty bad late game. It's amazing early game. But, whatever. Allure. Nice super rare there. It's draw power, so it helps speed the deck. Dark Hole. It's Dark Hole. 2. Deck Devastation Virus. That's a proxy. Basically, you tribute a Dark-type monster with 2,000 or more attack, and then you check your opponent's field and hand, and any cards they draw for the next 3 turns. And then you send any monsters with 1,500 or less attack to the graveyard. This is amazing in the mirror match. This card is the reason why ViralKeepers will beat Pot of Dualities Royal Tribute Gravekeepers in the mirror match, because you get this off, and basically the only monster that doesn't get hit is Commandant, and he's usually pitched, he's like a pseudo Necrovalley anyways, so amazing against quick draw too. 2 Dimensional Prison. They're good for getting rid of Stardust, protecting my monsters, stuff like that. 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. It's just so this format, but it's still a very good card, so there you have it. Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. It's sort of like Deck Devastation, but you need to tribute a monster with 2,500 or more attack. Basically, and then you check your opponent's hand and their back row for either spells or traps. You get to choose when you activate it, and you send all of those to the graveyard, and then any spells or traps they draw for the next 3 turns you send to the graveyard. So yeah, it's really awesome against Blackwings. You just get rid of their recursive attacks for 3 turns. It's cool. Mirror Force. It's Mirror Force. It's also a common. And Rite of Spirit. I was running Royal Oppression, but Royal Oppression conflicts with Chief, which I recently added in, and Malefic Stardust Dragon, not to mention Spy. So I took it out. Rite of Spirit helps speed up the deck. I can get a Visionary, a Descendant, basically whatever I need at the time. It's chainable, so if you put an MSTs it, they just -1 themselves. You can chain it to a Black Rose effect, get Recruiter, and then they destroy Recruiter, you get a +1. It's a cool card, it's a nice tech. Extra deck wise, I have 3 Stardust Dragon in the extra deck for Malefic. I mean, I don't really need 3, I could just run 2. But, I mean, I don't really, that's all I need in the extra deck. I'm not running Monster Reborn for obvious reasons of Necrovalley, so I can't, like, steal tuners and stuff. So there's no need for me to run any more synchros than that. I think I have a Chimera Tech or 2 in there, because I have Cyber Dragon sided. So yeah. But there's the first deck profile of TeamProxie. I hope you guys on YouTube enjoyed that. Peace.